More than 400 TSA agents have quit since Democrats led this DHS government shutdown, which began more than 5 weeks ago. DHS says hundreds more are calling out sick, unable to afford rent, food, or child care, many of them trying to get other jobs like driving Ubers. Congress remains deadlocked over funding DHS, Democrats withholding the funding over immigration enforcement policy, like not allowing ICE agents near voting locations. Well, reaction is also pouring in over that ICE arrest that took place in San Francisco at the airport there. This was the cause celeb for a lot of Democrats yesterday. DHS says, though, this happened even before ICE agents were deployed across airports, at airports across the country. Homeland Security saying that illegal migrants with a final removal order were detained for attempting to flee and resisted law enforcement officers. Correspondent Heather Myers is live in San Diego with more on this. So, Heather, one of these Democrat narratives just came unraveled again, huh?
Well, John, this is very interesting because, as you mentioned, that arrest actually happened a day before the president even sent ICE agents to various airports around the country in order to help with those long security lines. The video, though, it went viral, and quickly the reaction came pouring in before the facts were even released. Now we're learning more about the women who were taken into custody and why ICE agents were trying to detain them in the first place. Here's a look at the video.
What the hell are you doing? I hope you're so proud of yourselves. You on video now, too. Yeah. Shame on you. You un-American piece of shit.
Leave her alone. What are you doing?
So that video spread across social media. It shows a woman crying and yelling as officers held her down and attempted to handcuff her while a child looked on. Onlookers, as you saw there, they started filming and they were demanding that the agents show them their badges and began cursing at the agents. The Department of Homeland Security said in a statement on X, ICE officers arrested Angelina Lopez Jimenez and Wendy Godinez Lopez at the San Francisco International Airport. These illegal aliens had a final removal order from an immigration judge since 2019. While being escorted to the international terminal for processing, Lopez Jimenez attempted to flee and resisted law enforcement officers. ICE is working as quickly as possible to repatriate the family unit to their home country of Guatemala. Well before those details became public, California Democratic leaders reacted. Congressman Eric Swalwell posted this, reading the shocking video of a mother being wrestled to the ground by ICE agents as her daughter cries in terror is precisely why deploying that rogue agency to airports is a bad idea. Get ICE out of airports, get them out of California. The governor posted this on X, reading, Californians, if you're going to the airport, it's essential to know your legal rights and how to be cautious around Trump's federal agents. Well, then he posted a link that provided legal advice for illegal immigrants, including those with final orders of removal. ICE agents, as you know, have started helping with security lines and monitoring crowds at 14 airports across the nation. But again, not in San Francisco and really not at any California airports yet. Now, here at the San Diego International Airports, the TSA agents do the passenger screening. Those are the ones who are currently not getting a paycheck. But at the San Francisco airport, where that arrest took place, they actually contract with a private company in order to do the passenger screening. So there are no long lines there, and no ICE agents expected to help with security lines there either. Reporting live in San Diego, I'm Heather Myers. John, I'll send it back to you.
So, Heather, how is it there behind you in San Diego?
Yeah, quick line check here for you. What a difference a day makes. At this time yesterday, there were thousands upon thousands of people standing in long lines right behind me, weaving all the way out to the sidewalk outside the terminal. Today, it's smooth sailing. Only about a 20-minute security wait. They've opened up the pre-check, and people are smiling and almost walking right through.
Wow, it's almost as if the ICE agents actually worked. Well, none there, but the collective effect of everything getting under control looks like. Heather Myers, live for us in San Diego. Thank you, Heather. Let's welcome in Stephen L. Miller, host of the Versus Media podcast and Substack. Stephen, great to see you again.
Yeah, I have my full lip. I'm in one piece tonight, so
That's
we're
good. Yeah, that's good. I prefer you in one piece, although that was interesting. The hockey, we had the whole theme
Yeah.
going on with USA, Team USA, and we don't know if everyone's teeth are fixed on Team USA, but I hope not, because that's a good memory. But anyway, let's talk about the matter at hand. And you could almost see, it's like the Democrats never learn. People specifically like Eric Swalwell, they hear about, some poor little lady was arrested at the airport by these brutal ICE agents who are only there to kill and molest the poor, weary travelers. But the narrative fell right apart again. It's like the 5-year-old boy that was separated from its parents all over again.
Yeah, or the ICE Border Patrol agents whipping migrants, whatever. They use these optics to their advantage. Especially in the sense that they're in the middle of a governor's race, so they're going to try to use these things. A lot of what is happening here is we see kind of progressive protesters when they block highways and stuff, and this is kind of the Democratic Party's way of nationwide clogging up airports and blocking highways. It's we're not going to fund DHS. Nobody knows what they want here. And this is the biggest problem with these tactics is ICE is funded through 2029. So it's not like they're going to defund anything. But when you ask them, okay, so what's the point of this? Why aren't you going to pass a clean CV or CR here? They don't really say it. They just say, well, we want less deportations. Well, you're not going to have that. Deporting illegal immigrants is a widely popular national policy throughout the country. It's why Donald Trump was reelected. And so they don't really have a goal here other than to just make people miserable, and they've admitted as much.
Well, they're in a tough position because you're right. The American public writ large wants to see illegal immigrants deported. They want to see people required to show proof of citizenship to register to vote, and they want to see the requirement for photo ID. But you still have people like Eric Swalwell. This is really where he is. He admits it in that post about abolishing ICE. That's where the Democratic Party is right now, and why yesterday we were talking about Chuck Schumer being forced out of power, because he's not there, but there are plenty of people in the Democratic Party willing to pick up that ball and run with it.
Yeah, if you remember, they don't get away from unpopular policy. They just stop talking about it. This is similar to defunding the police, where they said, well, no, we actually don't want to do that. Well, now it's happening in cities like New York City. So this is this is one of the funniest things when they all admitted, well, Joe Biden shouldn't have opened the border the way he did. And then you say to them, okay, so you're going to help us remove these people? Well, no, we're not going to do that. We need to give them a path to citizenship. And so it's not that they stop believing in these unpopular policies. It's just they just stop talking about them. And here they clearly want ICE abolished. They clearly want these people on a path to citizenship, and that's just not going to happen.
Yeah, we saw Heather Myers at the airport there. We see the live pictures of Houston. There are reports that do show that deployed ICE agents are helping alleviate some of the chaos. Border Czar Tom Homan says Democrats are just punishing TSA agents in the process. Here he is.
We're there to help the American people transit those lines that are taking hours because the Democrats shut the government down. Because the Democrats are punishing the men and women at TSA because they don't like immigration enforcement. They're punishing members of TSA, they're punishing members of the Coast Guard and CISA and FEMA, and they can open the government right now.
So there are reports that today we're going to get some movement. Maybe there might be some sort of deal this week. I don't think it's a coincidence, Stephen, that this is happening now that Congress is losing all their special privileges at airports across the country, which I think many of us learned about just recently.
Yeah, there's video footage of members of Congress just kind of bypassing the lines of TSA. Both parties, by the way, that's not like a Dem or a Republican thing. And now they're not able to do that. And now it's kind of like, oh, geez, I guess we should get on this. And Homan's right in the sense of how plain spoken he is. This is why he's very popular. He's similar to Trump in that way, where not a politician. He's not there. He's just there to basically tell you, hey, these people aren't being paid, and this is the reason why, and that's as simple as it is.
Yeah. One more for you here. We got to talk about Trump's visit to Graceland while he was in Memphis. The MAGA War Room posted this video, and it was a trigger for Gavin Newsom. He went off on one of his Twitter freakouts. Please just lower gas prices and release the files, he posted with President Trump in some sort of Elvis garb. He also posted this: for so many years, people have been saying that Patrick Bateman and I look alike. Now this pic has been going all over the place. What do you think? Of course, that was a callback to President Trump posting one of these similar split images of Trump and Elvis. But of course, Newsom here is comparing himself to a murderous sociopath, and I don't think they quite understood what they were doing. The cell phone here is quite astounding. There's the Trump Elvis one.
Yeah, I mean, the Newsom press office account is run by basically two 28, 30-year-olds who don't understand these kinds of pop culture references. And this is why repeatedly this account, it's not even about misinformation. The Newsom press office account is supposed to be kind of lampooning Trump, but they very, very continuously don't get these kinds of references. So when he's like, hey, I'm Patrick Bateman, how cool am I? It's like you said, those of us who have been around a while kind of go, no, that's actually not a good comparison. I think it's an accurate comparison, but I don't necessarily think it's a good one. And I don't know what they're doing here. Newsom is clearly getting ready to gear up for a presidential run, and I don't know who this plays to. And, you know, there are people in media as well who think Newsom is a front runner who also don't know who this plays with exactly. And I think that you're going to start to see pressure from journalists to get him to stop this.
Who do you see as the true hero in American Psycho?
The secretary, if I'm being honest with you. I mean, I forget her name. Here we go. That's going to be on Media Matters. But yeah, it's her. The
secretary. I think Paul Allen might be. I don't know, even though we don't really see much of him. But Stephen, we got.
He did have a good business card. He had the best business card.
He could also get the reservations, right? He could also get the reservations.
It had the raised lettering and everything.
Yep. All right, Stephen. Thanks for joining us. Great to see you as always.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.